We're going to take a look at the labeled graphic in Rise 360. Someone requested how to turn the check mark, or how to change the icon for the completed state into a check mark. I provided the code a while ago, but it was a little complex. I'm going to go through the whole process, and I added this to theme360.com. This is just a couple lines of CSS, and here it is. And the first thing is download. This is just a sample file, blank theme component file. It's just a CSS file. I'm going to place this into my exported course, and I call it theme. It should go the folder called theme and then custom.css, and the folder that I call theme, put that right alongside the index.html file. And then, now that we have our file, I'm going to open it in my text editor. It's just a blank file for now. And sometimes what I like to do, I'm just going to make a real obvious style. I'm going to change all my divs, give all my divs a red border, just to make sure my file is hooked up properly. So we should see an obvious change when I go back, refresh, because I made a change. I'm going to refresh. Okay, we don't see any change yet. Guess why? We have to link from index.html to our new theme component file, the CSS file. And I'm going to open index.html. And now here's where I say you should put it just above the div with the ID of app. And sometimes we link to files in the head of the document. With Rise, it really doesn't matter, and I don't really like adding a render blocking file to the head of the document. So you can just put it right inside the body, right above the div called app, which is the React app. Hit save, and then remember to refresh. Okay, I can see all my divs. Wow, we got a lot of them. So now I know that my CSS file, or I call it a theme component, I can see that file is being picked up by my course, which really all the courses in Rise, they're mini applications. And now I'm going to go back to Theme 360. This is the CSS that I provide. What it does, it's looking for the completed state marker, and happens to be visible also. I'm not sure when one would not be visible, but that's included in this selector. And this is a very advanced selector. I go through selectors in my theme design course. But anyway, I'm going to hit save. Now I'm refreshing, and let's see if my completed state icon, boom, we got a little check mark. And it's just a little Unicode symbol. That's all it is. I also turn it black here. You could turn it red if you want. Wouldn't you know? Maybe brand it a little bit, or green, whatever. And then I'm going to open up my debugger, which I use a lot. And there's really no reason to save any CSS unless you've tested it out in your browser debugger. This is one of the major tools I use for doing theme work. And the browser debugger, it lets you kind of play around with you know what's available in CSS. You'll learn a lot about CSS just by playing around with the debugger. change colors, see how they look. That's called designing in the browser. And if I wanted to change the content, instead of a check mark, I could just call it hi if I want any kind of text. And by the way, I'm working on a labeled graphic of a courtroom, including some technology items. I'm not done with it yet. It's actually going to have like kind of an overlay where you can toggle on and off the overlays. But anyway, also if you need the numbering, I have like the automatic numbering system, just a line of CSS. But this also, little sneak peek here. This is my like kind of dark mode overlay with the text on the side. Still working on it, not totally complete yet. But one other item here: title text on cover page. Yeah, generally, yeah, you can't just remove it. This is a look at a theme under construction here. Also have like kind of a neat kind of scrolling effect. If you're gonna hide the text, the default text, you need to make sure it's gonna work on mobile, because you can easily upload an image that has your text and it's going to get cropped off on mobile. Now this one, I probably could just put like my text like on the front of the car in that area, and it may work out. So this is the default Rise theme. And if I wanted to hide the default text, because maybe I have my text in my image, well, you can do it. There's actually a few different ways to do it. So first step, just find the correct selector. And I can see this is an H1 element. It's good. And Rise generally gives you pretty good HTML, and they've already kind of set up the selectors, but I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to give it a parent element of app, remember that? Because I want my CSS to be more specific. So I can color that H1 as transparent. That'll hide the text. That's one way to do it. And by the way, let's hide that start course button. It's kind of useless up there. We want people to scroll down and see what's in the course, right? Another way is opacity 0. And in my course, I detail why you should use each of these. Where's my style? There we go. Okay, so opacity 0. Another way, display none. Okay, there's more than one way to skin this cat. Another, probably a little more common way in web design to replace text with something custom but not affect the accessibility is going to be text indent and then give it a crazy value, -9,000. So it shifts the text all the way off our viewport. And as you're doing any kind of theme edits in Rise, double check all the viewports, especially the built-in ones. And now let's get rid of the start course button. It's really not needed. We can use all the methods previously described. There's a good and bad time to use each of those methods. I'm just going to test out a visibility hidden, get it away from my graphic, and then it's gone. And I can save that into my theme component as long as I test it, all my viewports. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I call this my Roadmap Warrior series. I've got a lot more of these planned in 2025.